Happy Meteorology Monday, everyone. Well, as a meteorologist, as soon as it gets cold outside, everybody in my life starts to ask me, how do I think this winter is going to play out? Well, lucky us, we have the Climate Prediction Center who has released their winter 2025 seasonal outlook for how things are going to play out. I figured I'd break it down and also localize it here to the Twin Tiers. So what you're looking at right now is your seasonal temperature outlook for January, February, March. This is a forecast of how likely we are to be either above or below average. You can see across much of the Northeast, we are forecasted to be just leaning above average for temperatures this winter. And we're forecasted, this is our precipitation outlook, to likely be above average, at least in the Twin Tiers for that precipitation. So you might be thinking, warmer and wetter, that's not good news if you want snow, but there's another major factor that goes into this forecast, which is your El Nino Southern Oscillation. Simply put, this is just when we look at the changes in sea surface temperatures in the Pacific Ocean and how that leads to a ripple effect on the atmospheric conditions over much of the world, including the United States. So last year we were in an El Nino year and we saw a recordly warm winter. This year, we're forecasted to see a weak La Nina develop. So let's talk quickly about what La Nina is. Normally, we get trade winds that move from east to west during a La Nina event. You get that same movement, but stronger. It allows for cold water to rise up to the surface of the ocean, and that allows for sinking air above to form this big area of high pressure. Well, that high pressure kind of puts a bump up in our jet stream over the Alaska Gulf area. But in response to that raised jet stream, right, you get a little bit of a dip over continental United States. It leads to colder air from our polar jet getting streamed into the northwest, and also some wetter air from the moist Pacific jet that streams in. We can get a little bit of this in the Ohio Valley and Greater Lakes region as well, especially that cooler air as those storm systems travel down, and it leads the rest of us farther south looking dry and warm. Now, during a weak La Nina, we've associated this in previous years with being able to keep this dry, warm air out of our region and farther into the south, which could mean that we see a little bit of a better chance for some more significant snow events, at least in this area, before it moves into our area, right? So here's my takeaways. We're forecasting this weak La Nina, right, which is usually associated with some stronger weather, winter weather events, right? So that could mean that we get some of that extra snow chance, right? But we are expecting potentially some milder temperatures. Thankfully, we are looking at a chance to be a little bit wetter, which would mean that we could be a little bit in the gray area. Could be looking at a better chance for warm, wintry mix here, whereas an area just off to the west over in Buffalo, for example, may see way more snow than usual, and then you head towards New York City, and they're mostly on the rainy side this winter. Now, of course, the Climate Prediction Center will keep us updated, and therefore your 18 storm team will also keep you updated as we get closer into the first few days of meteorological winter, which is only 5 weeks away.